So here's my take at the airbag removal process. Here is the simplest steering wheel that comes on these cars, or used to be installed, the regular non-sport. So the airbag is a triangular shape, locks in place with these springs. So to unlock the airbag, you have to basically move the spring sideways and then pull the airbag out. So to get to these springs, or to the spring or tabs of the spring, you have to take your screwdriver, something like that. On the side of the steering wheel there is a place where you can put the screwdriver in, like so, both sides. Once you stick the screwdriver through those holes, there is a certain angle that you have to push the screwdriver at, and in this case it's 100% vertical. So the screwdriver goes through that hole exactly vertically, meaning this way, no angles or anything like that, just exactly vertically. You can actually feel the rubber sides of the steering wheel kind of guide the screwdriver, I guess they do. Push the screwdriver all the way until it bottoms out, and then on the left side you tilt the screwdriver to the right, meaning you have to rotate it clockwise, and that unlocks this side of the airbag. Now the other side, it's got exactly the same type of provision for the screwdriver. Stick it in until it bottoms out, and on this side you push the screwdriver counterclockwise, and that unlocks this side of the airbag. And that's pretty much it. On the sport package steering wheel, that's a little bit different. I might get to that in a second or not, I'm not sure, but this is the regular steering wheel airbag removal, I guess. And that spring is just all that holds the airbag in place. So as a reference point, I guess I can measure how far this goes, the screwdriver goes into the steering wheel until it bottoms out. So the insertable length of the screwdriver in this case is exactly 2 inches. So when you're doing this, you can actually mark your screwdriver at 2-inch lengths for the insertion from the end of the screwdriver. So when you stick it in, you kind of know that you're bottoming out, because if you kind of miss it, it might go just in too far and you will never actually be able to engage the tab or the spring end. So that's pretty much all to it on how to remove non-sport version steering wheel airbag on BMW E90 generation. I guess as far as the airbag removal on sport edition steering wheel on these cars, so the airbag is held in place by 2 springs on this side and on that side. So there is a guide, or whatever you can call this, on this, I guess, airbag support plate. So there is a hole. So there is a place for the screwdriver to go in right here, in the same, I guess, the same manner. So that's the angle, like I said, about 45 degrees or so. So I guess I'm going to try and finish this video since my other camera ran out of room on SD card. So as far as this goes, like I said, the screwdriver has to go in before it hits the spring, about 1 inch. That is roughly 1 inch. I can measure. If I measure that, 3/4, about 0.75 of an inch. So 0.75 of an inch insertion, and then you bottom out against the spring, and then you basically just push the screwdriver until the spring flexes to the side, and that releases the airbag on this side. So that's the angle, close to 45. Well, 45 would be something like this. So this is a little bit more or less depending how you look at it. And that's what happens if you miss that spring. The screwdriver would just slide past it. So not as good of a design. So the other side is exactly the same, except that it's on the opposite side of the steering wheel. So I guess it wouldn't be me if I didn't really try to compare these things directly. So this is the non-sport steering wheel of E90, and this is the sport version. So like I said, the airbag removal on this one is, this is the spring that you have to get to by inserting the screwdriver like so. So that's how it is on non-sport. And like I said, you flex the spring by twisting the screwdriver. On the sport steering wheel, just like I was explaining, the screwdriver slides in through that opening. It's right there. So like I said, on the sport, the screwdriver goes in about 3/4 of an inch, and you kind of have to catch the end of that spring, which might be a little bit tricky when you don't see the spring, because right there I missed it. That's what happens when you don't see it, when the airbag is in place. Yeah, so, and then you flex the spring in like so by pushing the screwdriver, and that releases the airbag. That's how you remove the airbag on these steering wheels, and this is the, I guess, the differences between the sport and non-sport airbag installation. And the difference in the airbag shape is this. This one is more of a triangular shape, and this one is sort of kind of almost round. So here is my take on these paddle shifters. The way they're engineered on these cars, at least, they are super useless. Just like completely, totally useless. I didn't realize how bad it is until I really tried to learn how to use them doing the autocross, and I realized as many times as I tried to really employ the use of manual shifting, the automatic transmission, I really couldn't make sense of using those. If you want the paddle shifter on your car to be useful, these paddles, in my opinion and my experience, they should be mounted on the steering column itself, and they should not be rotatable, or they should not turn with the steering wheel.